Hello and welcome back to Mad Science Productions. I know it's been a while since I posted anything, but we've had a couple of things happen over the past couple of weeks. My cousin my cousin and his wife, they lost their 5-year-old son a week ago, Sunday. And so we've been dealing with that, and I was kind of sick the week before, but anyway, I'm back. I'm gonna try to answer something that I get asked every now and then. Every now and then it comes up. I actually received an email, I think last week, on this same subject. So it deals with, most people want to say, well, there's a contradiction. Look at the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew and Luke, and there's a contradiction there. Okay, well, my response to that is there's no contradiction there at all. If you don't understand that part of it, that means you just haven't read or studied the Bible. So I'm going to cover that tonight and see if I can explain it to you. We got to look at two little prophecies of Jesus for this to make sense. They were Old Testament prophecies. Jesus was to be of David's family. He would be of his bloodline, and probably the most popular verse for that is 2 Samuel 7:12 through 16. But I've got 12 and 13 up here on my eSword. So it says, "And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish his throne, the throne of his kingdom forever." Okay? Now, number one, right there we know he's going to be from David's bloodline, right? Okay. Number two, he would be born of a virgin. Of course, Genesis 3:15 says that, but there's also a reference to that in Isaiah 7:14, which says, "Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." Okay, now, Matthew and Luke give genealogies of Jesus. Okay, and they do differ. They're different, but they don't contradict each other. This whole thing starts back in Jeremiah 22:30. Okay, God's basically gotten fed up with the kings of Judah, and he announces a blood curse on Jeconiah, also known as Jehoiachin. Okay, and Jeremiah 22:30 says, "Thus saith the Lord, write ye this man childless, a man that shall not prosper in his days, for no man of his seed shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Judah." Okay, now what's happened here is, in Jeremiah, God has pronounced a blood curse, if you will, on Jeconiah's bloodline. Okay, but he's already made a statement that Jesus is going to come from that bloodline. So it looks kind of like God's in a pickle here, right? Okay, well, what you got to do is you got to go back in the Torah, and back there was a man named Zelophehad. And Zelophehad only had daughters. He had no sons at all. And back then, the way the inheritance worked was, well, we'll get to that part. So the daughters of Zelophehad requested of Moses in Numbers chapter 27, verses 1 through 11, and I'm not going to read that for time's sake, but you can check that out. they ask for an exception so that they may inherit from their father. Basically, what this provision did was allow whoever marries the daughter to become the legally adopted son of Zelophehad, and therefore providing an inheritance. Okay, now in Joshua 17:3-6, this provision was granted. The daughters of Zelophehad said, "Hey, Joshua, Moses told us that, we had this provision. He took it to the Lord, and the Lord said, yeah, so, and Joshua granted them this provision." Okay, there's also another example of this taking place, and one of which it's listed in two different books, Ezra 2:61 and Nehemiah 7:63. You could check those out too. Okay, back to the genealogies. Matthew starts with Abraham, and Luke starts with Adam, which also goes to show that Jesus is from Adam, or Son of Man. Okay, and you have to excuse me, I'm reading my notes here. Okay, the genealogies are identical from Abraham to David. And Matthew, he goes through Solomon all the way to Joseph. But Jehoiakim is in that bloodline. So even if Joseph had fathered Jesus, he would have been under that blood curse. And, he would have been under that blood curse. I'm sorry, I lost my place. So Joseph was the legal father of Jesus, but not the blood father. Remember, there's a virgin birth. Okay, which leads us to Luke's genealogy. Now Luke went through Nathan, which is David's second son. Okay, he goes all the way down to Heli. Now Heli is Mary's father. Alright? Now remember that special provision made way back in Numbers 27, 1-11. Okay? That if a man only had daughters, that when that daughter marries, that man that she marries becomes the legal son of the father. Okay? Going down the line in Matthew, you get to Jehoiakim, and on down to Joseph, which that bloodline from that point on was cursed, okay? So, Joseph's line was cursed. Mary had Jesus through Immaculate Conception. Joseph marries Mary, becomes the legal son of Heli, and the blood curse has been sidestepped. So, Jesus will reign on David's throne. And if you tie these little things together, so you can't just... People will read and say, oh, Matthew and Luke, they'll read that and they'll say, look, that's different, that's a contradiction. They don't know what they're doing. They don't care to find out about it. They just automatically assume that there's an errancy in the Bible, and which there's not. But they automatically assume this stuff. They don't do their homework, okay? And the Heli and Joseph marriage, Joseph automatically, with Mary and Joseph automatically becomes Heli's legal son. Okay, so he's still continuing through the bloodline. It's just been sidestepped. And that is fascinating. That's amazing. That's the kind of stuff that nobody looks for. Nobody pays attention to. Okay, well, I see my time's running out. I think I'll do maybe a part 2 on this later. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you got any more questions about it, you can email me and I'll try and answer them. Because the camera's going to cut off at 10. So, anyway, if you got any questions, email me. And that's about it. Take care and God bless you.